Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Talking with Terry today. My quote today is, "Patience is bitter, but the fruit is sweet." I've been a big advocate for mandatory holding periods since ever I first heard about them. Thank you to my friend, Dan Coleman. But my advocacy has probably only resided with the most senior employees. And I haven't always been an advocate for imposing the restriction to the broad-based employees, to the rank and file. I had a conversation recently, a couple of weeks ago, with Calista Bruce, who made me kind of rethink some of my thoughts and how potentially a mandatory holding period could be really valuable, especially when it comes to ESPP employees. I'm lucky today to have Callie on Talking with Terry and to get her thoughts and kind of have that conversation again. Callie, tell me some of the things that you think about how a mandatory holding period or how it could be valuable with an ESPP plan. Thank you, Callie.
Hey, Terry, thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to join you today, and it's so great to see you. You raise really interesting points here, as always. And as you'd mentioned, with the traditional employee stock purchase plan, those holding provisions for the non-executive employees can be cumbersome. The other thing to think about is that they could potentially create financial hardship, right? Given we know that those participants are investing their hard-earned cash into the program, and they may just get stressed out about the idea of having their capital tied up for a predetermined amount of time. So that could, unfortunately, of course, lead to lower participation rates, which isn't good for anyone involved. That being said, with the cashless ESPP, we're actually changing this now, right? Given folks don't necessarily have to fund the program out of pocket, all of a sudden we aren't creating any liquidity constraints. Conversely, in fact, this actually could help to bolster financial wellness initiatives because now we're actually almost creating an employer-sponsored savings account in as much as this is now such that employees can participate in the plan without necessarily impacting their free cash flow. And all of a sudden now too, this is a creative for plan sponsors. Of course, we can never predict the market, but as a participant, we're saving this equity no matter what. And again, little to no impact to my free cash flow from a paycheck to paycheck period. Likewise, one could make the argument that it's financially beneficial because we're creating these parameters for folks whereby this mandatory holding provision could actually help me as a participant to satisfy the IRS requirement with respect to those shares actually becoming qualified for our favorable tax treatment. So go ahead, Terry.
I love that. They're getting free shares. It's not creating hardship, and we're helping them tax from a tax perspective. There's no loser. That's fantastic.
Exactly. Net, mutually really beneficial for all parties, as you just mentioned. And the neat thing is that we know, right, that within the concept of equity compensation, ESPP shares are being held anyway. So behaviorally, we're not changing anything. We're almost just creating these positive parameters so that folks can really avail of all the financial benefits that we've mentioned.
Well, Callie, this is awesome stuff. You always bring deep and profound thought to me. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everybody, for joining today.
Thank you again for having me, Terry. Good to see you.